What's up, guys? It's been a while.
Yeah, like a month, right? We seem to do like monthly podcasts at this point.
Yeah, I like it. It's like
At least it's somewhat on schedule.
I feel like we're actually like every time that we're doing a podcast, there's a certain feeling.
Yeah, it's like so normally podcasts are run on a schedule, and we do it based on like if we feel like talking and we have something interesting to say. And I feel like, I mean, humans, being realistic, do humans really have like something really interesting every week to talk about? Like, I feel like that's impossible.
It's hard unless you're following trends all the time and you're talking about trends. There's so much happening out there. But if you're talking about your
like
own life experience,
news I could get,
yeah,
I guess, but that's also artificial. That's not like real.
No. But if you're like literally like trying to express
talk
what's
about
happening,
your life,
especially in 2024 right now, I don't think there's that much happening in individuals' lives to the degree that every week there's something extremely
life-changing,
podcast worthy.
Well,
happening.
we do have something really exciting happening.
Yeah.
You dyed your hair. So this is the announcement of you fully blown into the tech world. You want to talk about it?
It took a lot of bleach.
Yeah, 4 rounds. I was very patient in bleaching
you.
your hair.
Yes.
Tried to do as little damage as possible.
Yeah. I think it's like it was a really great experience, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing my hair go from different shades of brown to like platinum. Which it's not platinum actually, it's like ash
It does
blonde.
look a little platinum, and there's like some yellow in it.
There's
but
still like shades of different.
I think it looks really good. I
colors
think it looks beautiful, and I think it definitely symbolizes like where your mentality is at right now, which is really cool.
I feel very every time that I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, wow.
Who's that handsome fellow?
Not like that, but yeah.
Oh, I'm pretty sure you say that.
That would be narcissistic to say it out loud, but yeah.
No, it's cute.
But I like it.
When I'm gonna just for the record, when you're tanning and this hair by the pool, I just melt a little bit. So, yeah.
Well, you're a fox yourself when you're tanning. It's like looking at you is like, damn.
Thank you.
I made the right choice. But we are here. We're in Palm Springs.
Yes,
We've been here for a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like taking life outside. I still managed to work on Mellow, even though I wanted to take a little bit of break to complete the demo, which that was the best part of this trip.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, we finished the demo.
yeah.
Oh my God. It's really cool.
That would be the coolest thing that you guys will ever see.
Release coming soon.
Very soon. Yes, if you're in San Francisco, come to our house. Like,
yeah, we'll show
give
you.
a
We'll do
demo.
an in-person demo. I don't think
Yeah.
we'll release it online yet because we're trying to get funding. But,
Yes.
but
it's the coolest thing that I've ever worked on,
mm-hmm.
and it's the coolest thing that I think it will be released in 2024.
Very cool. Yeah, 2024 is like our year. I think 2024 is a cool year to like just start everything.
Yeah,
you know?
I
Really
love how it's been going so far.
Mm-hmm.
We started like strong, and it's going great. But do you wanna tell people who are listening how you feel about like San Francisco and then being here for a couple of weeks? Like, tell us about like the difference.
Yeah. So okay, this is a good conversation because I feel like really happy. I love San Francisco. I wouldn't live anywhere else, honestly. Like, it's the best city in the world, and sorry, bugs. Oh my God. We're outside by the pool. Okay, basically, San Francisco, if you go into the city and you stay there for a few days, it's like a time warp where you like speed into the future.
Yeah.
And you're already 10 years into the future than anywhere else. But on top of that, when you're there, the longer that you're there, the more in the future that you get.
Yeah.
And it's like very progressive. So it's like we've been living there for 2 years, but it feels like we're 5 years ahead of like where we would have been if we lived anywhere else.
Yeah.
Um,
That's like in every aspect, like
Yeah.
professionally, mentally, maturing up.
Yeah,
like,
it's
a
in
lot of-
every
a
like
lot of
so
it.
if you look at the aspects of my life, I have more friends than I had before. That are closer to my personality, and I mean I like all of my friends equally and everything, but like I feel very connected
Yeah.
to them. And then my body, my physical health has been like much better in San Francisco, like walking all the hills, and I just started doing Pilates, which I don't know, it's very trad wife of me, which I'm not like that at all. But for some reason, that's been like the most effective exercise, and
Whoa.
it's so quick.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not even working out. It's like 40 minutes of just like moving your body in a certain way, and you just like feel so much energetic. I did it like 6 days in a row, and I just had so much energy, and it was crazy. And then food wise, we have like the best food options.
Yeah.
Everything's really organic and healthy. And
Can we
like,
talk about the fact that food is actually almost the same price here
Yeah.
in Palm Springs, even though the quality completely is different than San Francisco? I mean, we are kind of like surrounded by the desert, so you don't expect a lot of fresh produce or a lot of like cattle ranches for like dairy, for meat, all of these things. It makes sense.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like a shock that like the price of food, going to groceries, like going to Whole Foods, or even going like getting it, takeout, it's the same.
It's the same price. And everyone, whenever I say I live in San Francisco, they're like, oh my God, that's so expensive. And it's like, actually, I think I'm saving money, because if I lived here, I would have to have like so many, like I have to drive all the time. I would have to like pay a lot of money for things to be shipped here. Going to the airport would cost a lot. There's like so many different costs associated with living in a suburban area versus a city that people don't think about. Like, so yeah, my rent is high, but like everything else is cheaper. I don't know.
It's not cheaper. It's like in
It's
relatively to
same
other
or-
parts of California that is like livable.
Yeah.
It's kind of like in the same range.
Anyway,
But
the food though, I would say like it's just, I mean, I'm sure you can get the same food here, but the culture around food maybe is a better way to say it.
yeah, like if you want fresh produce, like the ingredients, I think the fresh produce in SF is a little bit more fresh.
Yeah,
Because
and there's
obviously
more
of the area.
options. It's like the market favors that.
Yeah.
So it's almost all available, and most of the patterns of eating healthy come from the culture that you should eat like that. And there's something going on with brain power, with consciousness, that it took 2 years of living in SF for me to feel my body again, and feel my movement, and feel how my emotions are feeling, processing things in a healthy way, making it like the biggest change living in SF has been making decisions that align with where I want to go in the future. That has been really fast and really clear-headed, that I'm just like, wow, I'm exactly where I want to be. And I've never felt that before. Living everywhere else, it was not like that. But when I was going to school in San Francisco, I also felt like that. I felt like I was going exactly where I needed to be. So there's something about the city. Anyway, we can talk about how happy Chloe is, but we can also be like, being here has been amazing too, because I went to high school here like for 2 years, and I was 16 and 17. And then I went to college in SF, and for some reason, like, I've come back here a lot. My parents live here, but this specific trip has made me feel 16 again. Like, I genuinely feel like a teenager. I've been waking up at like 2 p.m. Okay. I've been going for runs at like 10 p.m.
Yeah.
I've been drinking beer like every other day. And I mean, to be fair, this is like our vacation time, and I haven't had a vacation in like 2 years. This is like kind of like the first vacation.
You don't need to explain it. Yeah.
I do feel like I need to explain it because I mean, it's very luxurious of me to like live like that. But
I think it's very normal. Like everyone goes to their parents, stays with them.
do they? I don't know.
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's very natural. Like
Yeah.
I love the weather here as well. And
Yeah, the weather brings me back. And it's not necessarily memories. It's more just like the patterns that I had when I was 16. I am remembering them and I'm doing them. And it makes me feel good. And my body just really likes the desert. Like my hair is really happy here. There's a lot of creative energy. I've been listening to all of my favorite 2000s bands from like when I was younger. Like Muse has been on my playlist when I'm running, and I'm just like literally running to
Nice.
freedom, like in my mind. And I'm like, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. Because I do feel very oppressed in SF because there's so much government around, and it like there's a lot of amazing things about SF, but that I feel freer here in some ways.
That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah, I feel the same way about the environment. Although I do miss SF a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what's your take? Because you didn't grow up here, so.
I love the weather,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not a fan of this slow pace of life.
Yeah.
But I
Like
guess
a turtle.
I feel great not waking up to a sound of like fire truck sirens or like trash trucks.
The sleep has been amazing. Been dreaming
yeah,
again.
Yeah, exactly. Like REM sleep,
Mm-hmm.
dream REM sleep. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Overall, I loved it because I was on a 6 months like spree of just working hard on Mellow, and the last few weeks, like you experienced firsthand how crazy I was momentarily, because you get stuck in a loop of work, and SF is just like, we live downtown.
SF is
so
just work.
yeah, it's just like everywhere that you go, people are working more, and it's a beautiful thing, honestly.
Mhm.
Like I love those people because they're building the future,
Yeah.
and I think there needs to be a balance a little bit, not like the balance that a lot of people are like work-life balance, like not that kind of balance. Like go on like long, like work like weeks. and,
Yeah, like a streak of a lot of hard work,
Yeah.
and then a
Take-
break for a
take
while.
a break.
I don't know who it was, but some really high person in tech was showing their schedule. And they were like working 12 hours coding one day, and then they would take like 2 days off.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they would do another 14 hours and then take like 2 days off. And they were working during the weekends, but like they were off on Mondays. And
Yeah.
I feel like our schedule is also really aligned with that. And I wonder if it's like the new systems that we're working with, because there's like, it gets like cut off like if a lot of people are using it, so you have to be smart about what time you use the like Claude or ChatGPT, that it's training our brain in a new way that like our schedule, honestly, like when I go out, like I'm waking up late and I'm going to sleep late and I'm working every weekend,
Yeah.
and that's like complete opposite of like all of the people that I know. So I feel really weird. But when I see like really high level people doing that, I'm like, oh, this is the future,
Yeah.
you know?
I think there's some truth to that. Like,
And I hope it's the future that we can just work when we feel like it. Like when our body feels like working and we have that energy, that's way more effective than just forcing yourself to do stupid, silly tasks.
yeah. I mean, there are a lot of people following people like Huberman, that you got to wake up early. You're the brightest because of your biological clock and all of the things about billions of years of like evolution in our body, that likes early morning, waking up, like looking at sun, all of those things. And
Yeah,
I think
like the farming clock.
yeah, even goes before that, you know,
Okay.
because like, well, we didn't have artificial light
Yeah.
for the majority of the human development, like, ages, and now we have it, and it's
Mhm.
just like a lot of like scientists are like, yeah, it's like different.
Yeah.
But almost all of the people who work in tech have a very weird schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I myself have experienced that, because you don't want to take a break when your brain is going towards the right direction,
Yeah.
and you suddenly stop because you're done with what you were doing, and then that creates like momentary feeling that, oh, I need to rest. And then when you start resting, you're like, okay, I'm gonna take a rest for like 20 hours now.
You work in hours, not days anymore. Like
You work in like
it just feeds all together. Oh my god.
It's been a long time that I kind of like miss days.
That's also the system, because the system times you out for like 3 hours and you're like, okay, I guess I'm resting. Like
There's a lot of that as well. Yeah.
That's funny. It's been really nice to see you relax here a little bit. It's been a long time that I haven't like seen you just like be chill and just yeah.
It's nice to see myself a little bit chill as well. I feel like I was here and I like was aware of my needs to a level that I was like, I want to dye my hair.
Yeah.
It's like, so you suddenly get to think about what you want. And I was like, I guess I want to sleep a little bit longer. Like pay attention to Chloe.
Oh.
like we've been swimming in the pool and like laying on the like, you know, like pool side to tan every day. It's been nice.
I kind of feel like I'm at a point in my life that I did so much like hard work that from here on out life is going to be easier. You know?
You have done a lot. Like for the past 5 years that I've seen you, you've been nonstop grinding.
I mean, I think like a lot of people have, but I don't know. Yeah, I'll probably grind.
Sure,
more,
I just see you.
Yeah.
Like you're in my life, so like I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people doing, they like, you know, more towards their own dreams.
Yeah.
But you have been, and it's nice to see you to see you in general, like the way that everything is going in our life is. We do have like I feel like we do have emotional like roller coaster for ourselves. At least I do have that. It's just part of being young, part of being living in like in a, you know, in the city.
Yeah.
Like so many changes. Like in the past 5 years, I've finished my bachelor's, finished my master's, got married, like got a job, quit my job, building a startup. It's like it's too much. Just like it's a lot of
finish
things.
A demo.
Yeah, and it's just like too many things.
That's a lot to do in like less than 10 years.
5 years.
Yeah, 5 years.
Yeah.
We had a 2-year and a 5-year plan, and it looks like we did meet it early.
We did meet it earlier.
Like way earlier.
Earlier, yeah. Well, I think we were like that was like a list we created in 2022, 2021.
When we were babies.
When we were bored out of our apartment
out of
during
our minds, yeah.
COVID.
Yeah, it was cute. I think on the list was like live in a skyscraper downtown, which we live in a nicer place than that.
Yeah.
We like live in a Victorian like apartment.
Yeah.
Downtown San Francisco, and we wanted to like
you wanted to start surfing.
Yeah. Was that on the list?
It was.
Oh my god, that's so exciting. Yeah, I'm learning how to surf now.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I wanted to start my own startup.
And you wanted to start your own? Oh my god, this is like so cool. And this was like a 5-year plan, and that was like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So we're doing everything on our plan.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. That's really cool.
The only thing that I miscalculated was the number of friends, the close friends that I would have. Mm-hmm. And I think I didn't take into account that there's so many political movements happening that also online world siding with those political movements suddenly created a huge gap in the social connections that people would have. So it created it's like that is a little bit delayed. And I'm hopeful that I can get it out of Mellow.
Yeah.
Because I'm so excited about Mellow, and I'm so excited about meeting also people that are excited about building the future, that I think it will be super cool to have that.
Do you hear that, everyone? We need friends. So like hit us up, because we're just like, it's just us.
Sure. Like, I think
we're just always hanging out with each other, and I feel like that's pretty normal today. Like everyone just hangs out with their partner, but at the same time it's like we would enjoy more company, but it's almost like this world is not built for social connection right now.
It's a bit tough to connect. And I think it's I don't judge people for not wanting to connect right now, because
Well,
like you
a
were
lot of
saying,
people are building too. Like they're building their life up, and I know
Yeah.
I've been in moods where I'm like, okay, I can't focus on friends because I need to like focus on
yeah,
making rent.
I'm in the same mood. I'm like, I love to connect with my friends, but all day and night I'm thinking about building a new world for, like, people that I care about.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not on the same trajectory as I am, you're not going to be interested about the things that I'm going to tell you, because all like, you hear me all the time talking about Claude, talking about like the new AI features, the things that I'm doing to connect all of the pieces, the tech pieces. So it's like, it's a lot of and everyone like pretty much has the same situation. So
Mm-hmm. What about, okay, so we've been talking a lot about the 2000s pop culture,
I'm currently in love with the 2000s pop culture,
and we've been like watching a lot of movies and listening to a lot of music from that era.
yeah
And you dyed your hair, and that's also like kind of a signal from that era. And that era was very socially connected.
yeah
So when we're talking about making friends, and I personally believe like this era right now is a lot like that previous era where the internet was just coming out in like the late 90s for the public to use.
yeah
And right now AI is just coming out for the public to use and build. And I don't know if it will be similar, but it's like kind of a similar economic and like artistic revolution that the 90s and early 2000s had. What about that era do you like? What made you want to like dye your hair like that? Like, just tell me a little bit. Like,
Sure, yeah. I think what I like about it is, well, I'm gonna say it very boldly, sex was legal.
amen.
Yeah. And it's I think one of the biggest problems that I have with 2024
Mhm.
is people forgot how to flirt.
Not just forgot how to flirt. They're like, you flirt and they want to like just tell you that that was not okay. Like, how dare you flirt with me?
Yes. Yes, I agree with that as well.
Mhm.
There's a lot of that, the policing
Yeah.
happening as well.
It's
but
just not comfortable. You know?
I feel like a lot of people that I'm in touch with got over the policing,
Okay, that's good.
but they are still socially awkward.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, like, okay, the flirting is something that I think it's very necessary, because I think it's a sign of intelligence.
Okay, it's like it's a deeper level of social connection where you're playing dynamics with people. So it's
Yeah.
like you say something, I'm clever enough to understand what you're saying and re-say it in a way that is clever and builds up, and like that flirtation can be with friends. Like, it doesn't have to just be with like people that you're sexually attracted
Yes.
to. Ultimately, it would be amazing if we could have both.
Yes.
But yeah, people are not playful. They're just like, this is who I am. If you don't like it, fuck off. I'll ghost you. And I hate that
Yeah.
because that's not how like social connection works, actually. Like, we're supposed to be building off of ideas and going from the assumption that everyone is intelligent, not everyone is stupid.
Yeah.
I
And-
can't operate that. I think that's the problem. I cannot operate socially in this environment because of like these reasons, because I'm not someone who's ever going to assume like this person is stupid. I'm going to talk and flirt with you, and
Yeah.
if you don't reciprocate that and you just make me feel bad about myself, then I don't want to interact with you.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like it's frustrating.
Yeah, it is a very important feature in our personalities for survival.
Yeah.
I think it shows that that you need to survive. I think the people who act like they don't have anything to lose, and so they don't need to do anything out of their comfort zone, they're a little bit scary to me, because I feel like no matter who you are and how much money you have, made it yourself or got it from, inheritance.
Yeah, survival's not just about money. It's about like the feeling of life, like feeling alive.
Yeah, that's exactly.
And that you require humans to have that feeling.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I totally agree with that.
Yeah. So you wish the 90s flirting would come back.
Yeah, which is sign of social intelligence.
In a new way, like in a better way.
Yeah.
Right?
I think I've been over this global village mentality that people have because internet interconnected everyone from all around the world, and I think it's time for us to come back to our local life and start paying attention to what's happening around us.
Yeah.
And start hiding behind the screens. This is very cheesy, but I think it's an important lesson that if the majority of the people don't do that, we wouldn't do anything.
What? Don't do what? What do you mean?
If the majority of people in the world don't interact with their friends in person and stay behind the screens, we're gonna lose social intelligence. There are civilizations.
Like it will bring us backwards.
Yeah.
But I mean, how would you? There are a lot of people who all of their social interaction is online, and they get social interaction from that. It's just in a different way.
Yeah, I haven't lived that life. Like, I'm not a big fan of online world, and I love being in contact with my friends from different parts of the world, but 99% of those people are the people that I have met already, and I'm just keeping in touch with them. I am not making new friends online, and I think I'm not old-fashioned with that. I'm actually building with AI. I'm very tech nerd, actually.
But you're old-fashioned in the sense that you want to deeply know the person, and in order to deeply know someone, you have to be physically around them.
Okay, so I will say it in a scientific way.
Okay. Thank you.
Our brains have not evolved enough around 2D screens to take all of the emotional and psychological input that you can get when you see someone in person. So that's not true.
So you can't get
exist.
what you need out of it.
No,
to
it's
the
hollow.
fullest extent. Okay.
Yeah. It's like your brain is okay. So I'm gonna say it, and it's gonna be a little bit controversial, but it's kind of like watching porn and having sex.
Yeah.
It's like you get stimulated watching porn, and your brain thinks that you're actually there in that situation, but your body knows that it's not the same. Even if there was a way to measure the orgasm that you would have based on watching porn or having sex in person, I think it would be a different kind of orgasm. So it's kind of like something that we're trying to put under the rug.
Okay, I'm gonna counter your argument because so when I was growing up and learning about sex, we were already a society that was online.
Yeah,
okay?
we grew up as cyborgs.
Yeah, we already had that. So a lot of the experiences that I had, I met someone in person in a normal way. We started texting, we started sexting, we got comfortable with each other. We saw each other in person, at school, and then we would eventually, have a sexual encounter.
Sure.
It was almost never that, I would meet a guy and...
Immediate.
Yeah, well, that's not true.
Almost never.
There's one-night stands, too, that you meet someone at a party.
Sure.
And I wasn't doing that much, but, in terms of friends and hookups and all of that, it was a mix of online and in person.
No, mix is beautiful.
Yeah.
Mix
even if it's
great.
just watching their social media and liking stuff.
Yeah.
And you just get that gratification.
I also love the fact that a lot of people in the tech world talk about AI wives or AI boyfriends because Dan, right? The videos of the girl who talks to Dan,
Cute.
which is ChatGPT.
That guy is really good at flirting. The ChatGPT.
Yeah, he's going.
I would get wet from talking to Dan.
Good to know.
We can make that a clip.
But I really think that I think that's necessary as well.
Yeah.
I think we should develop those systems. I believe people
that's
who
my
want to do
point.
that.
That's my point is like it's fun to have both. But
Yeah.
if you just have one, it's not enough.
It's not enough.
I guess that's my but I feel like that's a Zoomer mentality, and younger people might say like something different than what I would say.
Okay, so like we can like deceive our brain.
If someone never had sex in person, they wouldn't know what they're missing.
Yes.
And
that is
that might be too uncomfortable for them. They might be too like, whoa, sex in person, like that's a bit like humiliating. That's a bit rough. But because we like grew up like that, it was like way more free.
Yes.
But I think biologically sex is like really important to have in person, and we need to train our brain to just keep that in society, because if we don't have sex in person, we're gonna lose a huge amount of like social connection, human connection,
knowledge.
That I do think that's causing a lot of depression, and anxiety and ADHD and all of these other things.
And that was what I liked about 2000s.
Was the
I think everything
sexual freeness.
Yes, I think everything was revolving around the fact that we are a society that is intelligent enough to know that you're not going to get close to someone unless you sleep with them. And then as many people that you're close with, your understanding of life is better. And we evolved to a point that we created these guardrails around human interaction, that it was safe enough. And I think we started mixing the online world with the reality too much, that we started feeling unsafe from people who we used to know in person. And when I'm saying this, no one came out and told me that you made me feel unsafe. Like, I'm just like giving you my realization that like the society stopped looking into human interaction in a way that, okay, the thing that a guy is telling me from another city or a girl is telling me from another city not necessarily reflects my day-to-day life here that I am. So why not me just walk outside, go to a bar with my friends, start talking to people that I have a little bit more connection with, or go to parties and make connections with people that I would understand. So I would know what actually is going on in my reality and if it's actually safe or not. Yeah.
So, okay, a few things like with just having friends in person and not like the friends that I knew from the past that I would talk to like on the phone or see their social media, actually meeting a new friend or an old friend in person and having that experience gives me 10 times more knowledge about what's happening in the world and how people are interacting with each other and what people's actual lives are like, that if you don't have that, I think your chance of survival is lower. Because you can make money online, you can have connections with people online, but that you won't understand the rest of it. It's like there's a whole nother world that you're missing out on, which is crazy. So what I was gonna say, what I liked about the 2000s was people were more authentic, or at least like the celebrities were. I don't know, like I don't remember. I was so young that I don't know the general public, but I felt like if we look at like the two people that stick out in my mind the most in the 2000s, it's like Britney Spears and Eminem.
Oof.
And they were so bold. Like they just said whatever they wanted to say. They did whatever they wanted to do. Like, I mean, Britney was still very, like, she had to be very careful. But when you look at her music videos, we were watching her music videos, she's so like free and she's so slutty and she's so like, I just love it so much. It's like, we don't have those kinds of role models to look up to anymore. Like my generation had those role models to look up to. And I feel like the role models now are a bit more conservative, closed off, anti-sex. They're selling sex rather than the feeling of sexual freedom, which I think is the whole nother conversation that we've had. But I don't like when we mix money and sex together as a society, and I think that we're at a point where sex is not free.
Mm-hmm.
It's something you have to pay for, and if you don't have to pay for it, it's closed off where you just have that one person, and that one person is like your everything.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And 2000s was more like, oh yeah, I'm dating this guy, and then I'm dating this guy, and then I'm dating this guy, and like I'm fucking all of them. And it's okay because I'm in New York City and I'm fun and I'm free and I'm young, and like, where did that go?
Yeah.
You know?
Do you think it will come back?
No.
No?
I mean, I think it will come back in a new way, but I think people want to experience sex with people that are closely exactly in their mentality.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
so it's
they're
like a little bit perfectionist.
Yeah, something that fits in their dynamics, something that is up to their standards. And because we all have different, like, we as a society have spread out very differently, it's easier to find, but it's harder also to it's like if you lose the social fabric, if you lose the standards in person, everyone has a different standard. It's really hard to communicate.
Yeah.
Because people are like approaching in different ways, and it makes people uncomfortable. Like if someone's like really sexually free and someone else is really sexually closed off, and those people meet because of a shared interest in something else,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be really uncomfortable, you know?
Yeah. Especially right now. I feel like you gotta pick a side. And you have
But
to...
it's like there's not just two sides. There's like 30 sides, you know?
Yeah.
And you got to just be, I think what you have to do today is just be completely clear with everyone who you are. Because if you hide anything, then you could have uncomfortable situations.
That also doesn't lead anywhere.
Really?
Unfortunately.
That's not true. You dyed your hair for a reason. You're signaling something to people.
No, that is true. What I'm saying that it's not leading anywhere I mean that people still like that narrative of playfulness.
Yeah.
And if you're completely honest with them about everything that is going on in your head, it's a turnoff. There's no play
Yeah,
anymore.
you have to have some filter and some mystery.
Sure.
It's very complicated. I don't think we're going to solve it tonight. But yeah, I do I wish that some parts of the 2000s, like being, like women being sexually free, but also men, I like the way that men they're treating women better than they did before. Women do have more opportunity than they did before. Like, all of these things are positive, but we need to get back to a point that we're talking to the opposite sex again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just not happening. Like, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure like guys and girls are not friends anymore. Like they used to have like this social capital of a group of people that were boys and girls, and that's just like segregated. And I think that's a really harmful thing to do to society. I think that's not okay.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think we need to find a new way to respectfully engage with each other,
Mm-hmm.
and learn from the mistakes of the past, of like previous generations, especially the 2000s, and bring the excitement back, because I don't want to live my 20s and 30s in a society that people are not open and people are constantly policing each other, saying that this is right, this is not right, and everyone has their own right or wrong. I have my own like sets of criterias, but if I am going to impose that on every single interaction that I have, it's gonna kill me. It's gonna drive me nuts.
Yeah, like, okay, so there's two things in social interaction that I think you have to be successful. Patience and a humiliation kink.
Okay.
Because it is humiliating, because
Yeah.
you're constantly coming to a mutual agreement with each other to interact.
I strongly believe one of the biggest problems with post 2020 world is people are shamed for humiliating themselves
Mm-hmm.
to meet other people in different levels, because every single person is like, if you're secure enough, you wouldn't change who you are to meet other people where they are. That's completely wrong. We gotta make
everyone, the smartest,
trade-offs.
most socially intelligent people are the ones that are flexible in that, and they can get along with everyone and still show who they are. And this guideline of like act superior to everyone, show people your confidence, don't let people step on you. There's good intentions in that, but actually that's like driving us apart.
There's no good intentions in that. There's those all shout insecurity.
Yeah. Also, like, okay, we were watching like the TV show that like it was in the 20s, right? And men were just like killing each other. Women were just like abused by their husbands and their partners and whatever men were around them.
Yeah.
And we're not living in that time anymore, but we're acting like it's 1,000 times worse than that.
Yeah.
Like, did we forget that like we're still animals? We're still like, I don't think anyone's trying to kill each other. Like, hopefully.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's going to be a little bit rough. Like, it's not going to be all sunshine, but that's the point of like living and being human. If you're just scared of the world constantly, you won't enjoy the joy of the world. Like, you can't
pick the
just
right people around you.
Yeah, but you're gonna get hurt. Like, you're gonna get hurt in a lot of different dynamics. You're gonna get hurt, but I would encourage, pain is part of life. Like, why are we acting like we're some fragile, precious human life force that should never feel pain? Like, I hate that. We should feel pain. We should produce art. We should have like this passion for life and this excitement, and we should go out and meet people and enjoy things, and also have all of the online world as a power for promoting that. The
real life.
You know? Yeah.
Because everything boils down to our physical body in the end.
Yeah, we're physical. We can't
physical.
be
We live
online.
in a physical world.
We live in a physical world, and we're physical. We can't do this.
we can use online to meet other people and use it to our advantage, but I highly believe computers were designed for production, not consumption.
Yeah.
And if you're consuming information out of it, cool, fun, enjoy. But if you're over-consuming, if you're not looking into people's eyes, and more than you look into the computer screen.
It's a problem.
Revise a couple of things.
Revise it, yeah. That's a good point. I think my beer is done, so I think our podcast is over.
I also see like there's like a beautiful shade of sunshine.
Yeah, it was purple a little bit. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm going to get in the water.
Sweet.